So hey, this is just talking about some shit, and I will show you some drawings that I have been working on. There's that one. Crazy shit that I've been working on. And it's not just that, but there is more. So that's some shit. But also, I thought I would just talk about, like, some random bullshit. And, like, here goes that. Okay? Aha! So I think it's like, it has to do, a lot of what's been on my mind is just, the sheer, like, ridiculousness of, like, being in the middle of a pandemic, but yet everyone seems more concerned with fucking protecting the interests of billionaires and capitalists, like, people who own the means of production and who are building grotesque amounts of wealth, and an increasingly smaller amount of people, and also defending interests of people who are exploiting and committing human rights abuses against vulnerable and marginalized people, and also just, I always seem to come back to this, but that's because it's like part of my experience. I like wander on, like, in the same grounds as that often, just because that's public discourse, because that's just like how a lot of people have been conditioned, especially within the United States of America. The fucked up trash bin that this place is like representing, fucking the interests of greed, the interests of fossil fuel companies, the interests of corporations, the interests of white supremacy, of racial inequity, of ableism, of all these different things. You wonder why there isn't a fucking universal health care coverage within the United States. It's because the United States seeks to profit off of the sick. The United States is in collaboration. Donald Trump, fucking Joe Biden, fucking Obama, George Bush, fucking Reagan, whatever. They're all friends with people who are profiting off of intense scientific ableism. I feel like it's like a genocidal scientific ableism, because it targets people most vulnerable who require medical support. It targets those people because they can't afford, like, the heavy medical debt that's thrown on them, like, if they don't have insurance. But even if they do have insurance, there's copays, and it's like, why has every other country realized, wait, climate disaster is a thing, and people require universal health care? And it's like, the United States is just like, oh, well, no, we're just going to keep making tons of money off of the most vulnerable people in society. And also, like, the people that can pay for it can have these cushy deals that it's like, they're just, like, sitting off their capital, and they get all these little loopholes that the working class and poor people don't get. Poor people and working class people are left to wonder whether, oh, wait, should I go to the hospital for this horrible panic attack, for these breathing problems I'm having, for this open fucking wound, for this broken arm? Like, or am I gonna be able to get groceries, or, like, I have to turn up to work tomorrow? So it's like, how many people just hide their injuries or hide their condition, hide their sickness just to survive economically. And that's the sad truth. And the shitty thing is, they're still getting paid shit wages. Overtime, like, companies will fucking blacklist you, will fucking, like, point it out when you're working overtime, and they'll try to, like, work around that to still get you to work an absurd amount of hours, but in a way that they don't have to pay you that little bit of extra that compensates your fucking insanely long work week. That shows you how much corporations, how much fucking companies care about you, how much the status quo, has your interests in mind. It fucking doesn't. It'll work you to the ground. It'll grind you to a fucking halt. And, people say, like, oh, the apocalypse is coming. Oh, that's great. Okay. Shit's gonna go down. It already has been for a long ass time. People's lives have been affected in horrible ways that you wouldn't even want to quantify because you're living in a pocket of privilege. A lot of people who would use that defense are living in a pocket of privilege where they're unaffected by climate disaster, where they're unaffected by wars of resource scarcity, of water scarcity, of, fucking fossil fuel nonsense. And yet, they're so fucking inclined to be like, oh, well, it doesn't affect me, so... It's like, there's a reason it doesn't affect you. There's a reason you're isolated. There's a reason corporations fucking keep, like, feeding your bullshit, by subsidizing, like, fucking, slaughter, like, animal, like, industries and fucking fossil fuel industries and industries that are destroying the planet and continually destroying, like, nature and shit and, like, selling off invaluable, like, ecoscapes and decimating shit like that. There's a reason they don't tell you that, and that's because it benefits them for you to, like, think that they're the good guys. And that's it. Fuck billionaires, fuck the fossil fuel industry, fuck colonialism and capitalism. Have a good night.